Hello and welcome
Yeah.
back to the Who Pod. Today we're going to be talking about Revolution of the Daleks. Now we both have different opinions on it, so it's going to be very interesting to talk about it today. Today I'm joined by Will, who's going to be the other side of
Hello.
the argument. Um,
Yeah.
so it's a review, but it's also a trying to persuade each other the other person's opinion as well, isn't it? With this one,
Yes, very much so.
because I mean it happens quite often that we have varied opinions on an episode. Um,
It does. It does.
but
Do you want? Obviously, you think it's one of the best.
yeah.
I really, really did not like it, and it made me feel bad thinking that, and it made me feel bad for made me like not. It made me feel bad being a fan of the show because I felt like the show was a bit of a joke.
Okay, what do you mean by
Um,
joke?
well, I did. It felt like Doctor Who was the thing that I don't know. It just felt like it's becoming a bit of a joke now, Doctor Who, and that sucks because it's my favourite show. And then when Ollie watched it with me, and he agreed, like that was no. Anyway, so you do yours first because I've got mine building up.
So I don't understand the idea with that it's a joke. But yeah, so I liked it because I felt like this is the first time that we've felt the like when the episode it's quite difficult to say everything because I know what I mean. But when the episode ended, I felt like at that point the fam actually connected with me a bit more than it did in previous episodes. Right? Previously, couldn't care much for them. You know, I mean, Graham, obviously,
I still no, never mind. You're
but
going.
the
You're
others
going. You're
not so
going.
much. And
Mm.
I think that was a big shame. But I think that at this point, I kind of had during that scene in the TARDIS when they have that kind of hug, and she's walking around chatting fam, and hopefully we can stop that now. But
Hmm.
with that happening, I sat there and kind of went, do you know what? I'm quite sad that we're losing Graham and Ryan because I think that if they treated Graham and Ryan like they did today in this episode today, then they could do that. They could make epic companions. And I think
See,
Yaz got a lot to do in this episode as well, and that's been lacking a lot in all of series 11 and 12. Um,
I no. I'm not sad that they're leaving. I would have been sad, however, if Ryan had died.
yes, well, I'm sure we can go to this at another point, but I mean, what was up? What was up with um, all those rumors that kept happening about how Ryan's going to die, Graham's going to die, everything like that? It was so obvious to us that it was going to happen. I was so surprised when it didn't.
Because he says the line, which would have been perfect foreshadowing, we're not going to get exterminated or something.
I know. And when
I
they left
thought,
the
oh, he's
TARDIS, I
going
was
to
like, well, we're
die.
never going to see them again. They're never
Yeah.
going to be seen again. And I think that they kind of played onto that idea. But I think if they did kill them, well, we all expected them to get killed. Doing the opposite would have been better because then it
No, because
subverted our expectations.
this would have been a worse. This what I think right now is a worse outcome than if Ryan had died, taken a bullet for Graham, and Graham leaves the TARDIS because he can't deal with the loss of his grandson.
Well, it
So
could have been.
I'm
I would
more
have done
for
it
it
the
in
other way
data.
around. I would have killed Graham. Uh,
No, no, no,
but
no.
I am quite happy that Ryan chose to leave, and I think I didn't mention this in my review, but I think that Graham felt like it was just kind of like, oh, right, you're going, I better go too.
Yeah.
It's like I want to stay, but I can't stay because I
So
need to leave
yeah, the
because
thing
we're
is,
kind of a
Graham didn't
duo.
really have a reason to leave the
Yeah,
TARDIS apart from the fact that Ryan wanted to leave.
and it was a case of
That's
him
why I
following
think
his
he should have
grandson
died.
than anything else. And I thought that was quite sweet. Like by the end, like I said before, I haven't liked the era as much as I've liked others, but at the end of the episode I felt like I had respect for them that I didn't before you know
Well done, Ryan. You can ride a fucking bike.
and I said this in the review, but
We joked about that like the day
yeah,
before,
but you can,
and then it
oh,
came true.
Ryan
We were
rides his
like,
bike.
yeah, we joked about like,
Character development.
don't. We said, don't we? This episode, he'll either die or get character development of him learning to ride his bike. We said that as a joke yesterday, and that came fucking true. The second I saw him on that hill, I just burst out laughing.
I would argue that they didn't get the character development from that
I no,
hills bit at
no.
the
The thing
end,
is,
the last shot.
it's not character development. That's the joke. We were joking about that.
Yeah.
But the second I saw them back on that hill, I just burst out laughing. I could not take that scene seriously.
No.
Especially when fucking Sun Grace comes down. Oh my god.
What was it? I don't know. I think that the ending scene was like the worst scene because I was
The ending
really
scene
confused.
is shit.
Yeah.
What the funniest thing I get, which carried on laughing, was them said, "Oh, the sun must be in my eyes." The sun's fucking behind him.
He kept saying.
You can see the sun behind him.
He went, "You're doing it, mate. You're doing it, mate." And I just thought of all those memes from 2 years ago. That's just all that sprang to my head. And after that sort of emotional ending, really, that wasn't needed, that last scene. And of course, for some reason, this is really weird. Right at the end, he falls off his bike again. So it's like you've gone back to what he was before. You've said that he's changed. And yet, maybe the ending could have been him continuing to ride his bike. But no, he fell off the bike. So he hasn't changed. Not his bike.
Nobody else changed because when he fell off last time, he yeeted his bike off a cliff. This time, he got back on and tried again. Character development, baby.
Like, I get the idea that he's outgrown the Doctor, because companions do. Martha did, for example. But I think that because we didn't see his ties to the real world, like, he sat there and went, "My friends."
Oh my god, he said, "My friends." You've
friends?
seen one fucking friend, and you say you've got trips. He's not a fucking friend.
It's a case of, like, he's like, "My friends need me," but we haven't seen that. You can't just say, "Oh, yeah,
when
my
Martha
friends."
Said,
Like, Martha said she needed a family, didn't she?
I linked it back to Martha. And when you said, "I need it because of my family and all that," we know her family.
Yeah.
So we're like, "Fair, Martha, get out. Go live with your family. Enjoy life." But my friends need me? You've got no fucking friends.
Well, we've seen one.
Oh, and he's got...
And the people that he played basketball with didn't have any lines of dialogue. I mean...
Yeah.
I'm really happy with their exits because I'd much rather they stayed alive. But I think you have to take them with a bit of a pinch of salt, to be honest.
No. Ryan should have died.
I do get why you're not happy with the ending because it's not what we were thinking it would be.
And I think Captain Jack was done poorly as well. Sorry, I'm sorting out my pizza box.
I kind of see what you mean with the Captain Jack thing because there's been so much hype for him being in the episode. And in my review, I just said, yeah, John Barrowman's good.
How much Sorry, I'm just going to rant it for ages. And I'll probably interrupt you, but I'm sorry. Why? Right, I know people always go, "Oh, it's just subverting our expectation," whatever the fucking word is.
Yeah.
But why was the Doctor? There was no point of her being in prison. Literally,
I know.
No point.
Yes,
if
I
a
did
fucking
say that
bounty ball can escape her. There was no point in that whole cliffhanger at the end of Timeless Children.
Well, there was because she had to get in the prison.
Okay, the only point of her
I see what you mean. There was no.
The only point of her
ramifications for it.
Ryan a reason to leave, and Yaz being a reason to get angry at her. That's literally it.
And
she should have stayed in the prison. They should have broke her out in the last scene.
I thought there was I thought they would break her out. Do you know, like Flatline? I thought it would be companion with the help of Jack, because you can't just companions can't just fight Daleks. I thought you had Jack and them as defeating the Dalek, and then at that point you would have them break the Doctor out, realizing that they need help, right? For whatever reason they need help or whatever, right? For some reason they get her out. They get her out, and then she comes and she does. Maybe she could do exactly what she did in this episode when she gets someone in the TARDIS and all that kind of stuff, and then they disappear. That could be. That would be fine, but I felt
that'd be what you need it for.
It didn't add much to get her out early. I think it was a case of, God, Jodie's hasn't been in this episode that much. Right, okay, what do we do? Just get her out now.
Question. Yeah. How would Jack recognise the Doctor? Exactly.
He knew it. He knew. He never met her, but I'm pretty sure at this point he's known her. And he's been looking for her, so you must have known what she looked like before he went looking.
No, you would have, Dan. He's known the Doctor as a guy his entire life.
Yeah, but now he knows it's a woman.
Yeah, now he knows. Of course he does. But how come he goes, "Ha, you missed me, right?" Oh, and that's not the line. But hey, Doc, how the fuck would he know?
Well, he's been searching for her. He's been trying to get next to her for ages.
What?
He says that in the episode.
They were just in prison together.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was a bit weird, to be honest. That aspect, the idea of breaking them out. What did you think of Yaz? We talked about everyone else. Do you want to talk about Yaz?
Yaz was probably one of my favourite characters in this.
I mean, she has a lot of promise now going into season 13. Seriously.
Yeah, well, not anymore. They've added another fucking character into it.
I mean, I am surprised by that, to be honest. I'm hoping that he's not a full, like,
Oh, he's so going to be a full
He
companion.
probably will be, but I'm hoping that he doesn't have a huge part. You know, I really hope that they develop a lot of
He'll be the
Yaz.
next
and all that.
Graham. I'm telling you.
But he could be there just for the comic relief and the stuff like that, not really needing his own drama-focused arc, if that makes
What, you
sense.
think he's doing like a Nardole or something?
I was thinking more like a Graham, kind of there for a bit of like humor and that kind of stuff.
No, because I think Graham. No, because Graham's an actual companion.
He is.
Graham shouldn't be the comic
part
relief.
of Graham is
Nardole
his,
is the comic relief.
Yeah. Okay, then give him a bit of Nardole. You know.
Yeah.
He's a bit of Nardole, but you know, Yaz. I like the drama with the Doctor, even though it kind of gets pushed to the side a bit, doesn't it? You know, they kind of ignore it.
I didn't. I got so annoyed. Right?
I hope it's not over.
Annoyed.
To be honest.
No, watching that thing, watching her like the way she punched like the Doctor or something, and all I can think is that these the Thasmin stands being like, "Oh my God, Thasmin!" Oh,
yeah,
Jesus
I did think
Christ.
that there was a lot of moments when they'd mentioned things but not directly say things. I'm like, oh, those Tasman stands.
And you knew they're
going
to go the Thasmin stands. They'd be like, "Oh my God, fucking yes!"
Should we talk about the Daleks?
Should we talk about the Daleks?
Well, have you finished it, Yasmin? And Thasmin and all that.
She was all right. She was all right.
I think that she shows a lot of promise going into the next series, and I think that her being focused on more would be better.
Yeah.
She definitely has some seeds, I suppose, that could be planted and used for something in the future. You know, there's a lot of untrust with the Doctor, which I think is good.
Seasons already, you should at least know who she is. Cough, Chibnall.
I mean, she did have some moments in this when I thought, hey, she's being a cop here, she's investigating and all that kind of stuff. Towards the beginning of the episode. In the beginning of the episode, she's sitting in the TARDIS.
In TARDIS,
yeah. She's kind of trying to be like a doctor, like kind of thing. Which is nice. But yeah, let's talk about the Daleks, shall we?
Shall we talk about Jack? Actually, not Jack. Sorry, Jack Robertson.
Oh yes. Okay, so what did you got? Yeah, it is. Do you want to go first on him?
Oh my God, I liked him at the start, but oh my God, the longer it went on, I was like, "You're just a twat, mate."
I don't know why they had to keep dragging him round.
They had to keep dragging him round, didn't they? Just leave him.
I mean, he doesn't have anything to do with the actual invasion. He simply wanted to make a buck out of the, designs.
Yeah, although something was up with him, I'm telling you, because I think he's not human.
Yeah.
Because he mentioned like if you rewatch it, I can't remember what the lines are, but he mentioned something about I don't care about the humans or something like that when he's talking to the Daleks, and then something else like humanity later on. All these humans. He says something like that later on, and I don't think he's human for some reason.
So you think something else is going to come out of it?
No, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just Chibnall shit writing, but it sounded like he wasn't human.
That's an interesting idea. No, I think he is human, but I think this is what
I think he is human. But yeah,
this is what I think. I think that they toned down a lot of the Donald Trumpness, which was nice, and I think that it made him I think he was better in this episode than he was in Arachnids. Yeah. He felt very much menacing and all that kind of stuff. But he also felt like he was out of his depth. You know, he was like trying to be this menacing character, but he really didn't know what he was meddling with.
Yeah.
So
I just found him really, really like at the start. I was like, okay, nice to see his character back when he was like introducing the Dalek. But then, yeah, as you said, he got dragged around everywhere.
Yeah,
and his one-liners didn't become funny; they became annoying. And you were like, Jack, we don't need you in the TARDIS anymore. Why are you still in the TARDIS? Why has the Doctor still got you here?
It was so that he could go and fight them, isn't it? You can get in the thing and go and see the ship and all that.
Yeah, tell you what, I started laughing at. So,
Jack, obviously, Ryan and Doctor have their emotional conversation in the TARDIS.
Yes.
They land, step out the TARDIS. We completely forget Jack's there. Where was he during that conversation? Having a shit or something? They're having an emotional conversation, and then the TARDIS lands, and 3 of them step out. Where was Jack during that?
Busy.
It's just weird.
I don't remember where every single person was in every single moment.
No, the thing is, he wasn't in that scene. It was literally just him and Phil's uploaded the review of his daughter, so I'm gonna watch that.
Going back to Jack Robinson.
Yeah, so he wasn't in that scene when they were having their emotional talks. It was just the Doctor and Ryan, and then they step out the TARDIS, and there's 3 of them. I'm like, what?
Well, I think that they tried to make the impression that this was a different part of the TARDIS. You know,
It was the fucking console room. What are you on about?
you know, like because I know it, but it is to us the console room. But if you weren't like savvy, then you wouldn't realize, would you?
I think no,
So
sure.
it's kind of a thing that they kind of went, please forget that we're in the control room, because they didn't show like a picture of the controller of the controls. But
you know what the walls look like.
Yeah, obviously there's not much.
You know what them stairs? She walked down them stairs with Jack.
Yeah,
Captain Jack.
Yeah, I mean,
Right. Okay.
But Jack Robinson really, like, he was ultimately the weakest link in terms of why they kept dragging him around.
Daleks
And when they went up to the ship, that felt like there was no real point of him doing that, just to keep his character going.
The Daleks were the weakest link.
Yeah, okay, well, hang on. Let me finish this point, and then you can go to the Daleks.
Okay.
So I think that when you have, the Daleks within the episode, and you have all Jack and all that, I don't think we really needed another Jack. It could have been this sort of shifty prime minister that is being used.
I did like the prime minister. I thought they kind of copied a bit of Harriet Jones bit when she died, but
like a bad Harriet Jones.
She tried to have a Harriet Jones moment. She said, "I will never surrender." Tried to have a Harriet Jones moment, but we didn't know her, so I didn't really care.
No, but I think that but she was never really the focus, was she? She was the kind of vehicle that gets them places, basically. And I think that what could have happened is that if you didn't have Jack Robinson, you kept him out of the picture. You would have just had this politician that would basically do it, and then wouldn't really have the resources to build them. So that was his section, but really he did not need to keep following them around.
No.
Let's go on to the Daleks then. What do you think of the Daleks? I really like the look. I like the idea that because they're Earth made, 3D printed Daleks. I thought that was pretty cool. And the scene when the ultraviolet teleports all of the insides into the Daleks.
Yeah, I mean that was probably explained in Resolution, but I didn't get it.
It was. But I think I didn't realize it was teleported into its metal casing. I thought it was bring it all back together. But I suppose.
Sure.
But maybe I misunderstood. But the idea behind that scene I quite liked, and the Daleks and their concept within this episode is really cool. When they're first introduced, for example, who wouldn't want Dalek-like drones to crowd control and stuff. I mean, he had a point there, but also no one knew what a Dalek looked like for some reason as well.
Even though they've been invaded on a different Earth, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think it's one of those things you have to take. Cause,
oh my God, Dan!
It's a thing.
John Bishop is playing Dan.
I know.
His name is Dan.
We're gonna get to that later.
Oh, sorry.
I know. I had a joke planned.
Oh, you can cut that.
Yes. Well, and he had a fair point with the whole Daleks being, security drones. But what did you think? What did you think about the idea of them bringing back the bronze ones to get rid of the sort of impure ones? Because I didn't think I quite liked it. I thought it was weird at the time, but I grew to like it within the episode.
What, the Daleks?
The Daleks and the idea of the bronze ones coming back.
I like the bronze ones, but I don't think they should have been in the episode.
Really? Okay, yeah.
Because I think the episode was at its best when the Daleks are being Daleks, going around killing people on Earth, right?
Yes, I did like those shots of, them in the airports and all that.
The second they brought down the bronze Daleks, right?
Right.
It was just, no one cares about the humans. No one cares about the humans anymore. I think Daleks are always at the best. For example, Stolen Earth or Journey's End, when they are on Earth terrorizing, which is what they were doing for that brief scene. But then the Bronze Daleks come down, and then we're running around Dalek corridors.
Yeah, and obviously
It would have
because those Bronze Daleks were still down on Earth. We never saw them on Earth.
Yeah, there was millions that flew out.
Lots of them. It felt
Tons
like they
of
were
them
trying to just
flew
sort of...
out. And I thought, oh my fucking God, this is when the episode's going to get big.
Yes,
no,
yes.
they get...
Yeah. I mean, it was good. Like, the bit on the bridge and stuff like that I liked.
8 of them have a standoff.
Yes.
8 of them. He literally said there are thousands of them, and we see fucking 8 on a bridge, as that's their standoff.
It felt like they had massive ambitions for it, but in reality, they could not do them.
Sounds a lot like Chibnall, doesn't it?
Like, it's like they wanted this to happen with this huge battle, and the idea of it was trying to get you invigorated and excited, but then they would only show you small snippets of it, you know? Like, they would just show you, like, cornered off sections. Like, when all those Bronze Daleks, are on Earth, and they're like, what are they doing? Just flying around, looking for the other Daleks? No. Why are all the Daleks just stopped invading as well? All that kind of stuff. Why would you stop invading? And they're all on the ship. And they're all on the ship, and I'm thinking we're going to get a Davros reveal. Like, the way that they're talking about it. The whole take me to your leader and stuff
honestly,
like that.
I really thought that was going to be Davros. Everyone's saying Davros.
I was like, oh,
the fucking surprise is another companion. You're taking the fucking...
No, you haven't... You've gone to the end again.
Because it's quite hard to review when you fucking know the episode. You just want to talk about the episode.
I know, we are talking about the episode. I'm still talking about the Daleks.
All right, okay. We'll talk about the Daleks. The Daleks, the bronze ones shouldn't have been in it. And if they should, it should have been the absolute... That should have been the finale. There should have been a lot more scenes of them terrorizing the world.
Yeah.
And the Doctor should have actually been involved in that.
I'd have preferred
not
to
running
see
around in Tokyo
on Earth, or like just if they were just in the middle of the action instead of on a ship. That would have been nice, but I didn't mind it.
With blue lights, not red lights.
Okay. Anything you want to say about the episode?
The red lights were a bit of a joke.
The ending?
What?
Before we start talking about like the ending and all of that, the hopes for the future and all of that, if you got anything that you want to say about the episode?
What, the fact that I just didn't like it?
Yeah, like, so you said that you found it funny, like you were almost embarrassed by it. What
I was embarrassed by it. I really was.
What items? What things?
Well, first of all, the pacing was completely off.
Okay, I can understand that. It did kind of throw you this way and then throw you that way.
You were getting shook.
Yeah.
Think about it. I felt a bit sick. Just I was getting shook. I didn't really. I'm just trying to think of a way to say it. You're just getting shook from scene to scene to scene to scene to scene to scene to scene. Right?
Yeah, it had a lot to do.
And you've got to catch up with everything that happened. Like I'm an idiot. I'm still trying to work out what's going on in the previous scene. Then I'm getting shook to the next one with more exposition shooked at me. I'm trying to work out what's going on. Then apparently Jack Boy gets to the whole take me to the leader. Why would the Daleks even take him? Daleks would exterminate him on the spot, which I really thought they were going to make them seem intimidating. The Daleks were not intimidating. The bronze ones were not intimidating. The Daleks are just not really... Just think about it. I know I keep going back to it, but Stolen Earth, the Daleks, for viewers, were scary, right? But now, the Daleks weren't even scary. They could have been scary if they've kept them on the Earth killing the humans, which is what we all thought it was going to be. That's when I was like, oh my God, this episode's going to be so good. But the bronze Daleks fucking shoot other Daleks, and then, I don't like the episode. I really don't like the episode.
I think that the reason you don't like the episode is because you based it on your mind. You wanted to see, I did as well, but I felt like I got that. An invasion. You wanted to see Daleks everywhere, and you wanted to see the Doctor running through and all that kind of stuff. You wanted to see all of that.
I didn't want to see the Doctor, to be honest.
You wanted to see the Daleks get destroyed in an explosive way, and you know what I mean, like Doomsday kind of thing.
Yeah, but even then, even if there was something I was like, oh, that's what I wanted, right? But even if there was something better, like something that I've seen which was better than what I thought it was going to be, I'd be like, fucking well done. But this, I can't. The Daleks are just they're not used properly, man. The Daleks aren't intimidating anymore.
They haven't been
The
for a
music,
long time.
what the fucking music? Like, could we just bring back Murray Gold? You can't have Daleks without Murray Gold music.
I liked the music for the Daleks, but I think you've cemented in your head what you wanted to see from this episode, and because you didn't get it, that's why you don't.
No.
I think
Honestly, I went into the episode right. We had I tried to avoid all these videos, talk about theories, because I wanted to go in not knowing as much as I can. Right. The only thing I knew is what I've spoken to you about, being like someone's going to die. Turns out they didn't fucking die, and there was a big surprise at the end. That's all I knew about the episode. Right. I've had theories, but that's all. But they were just theories of not what I want to happen, just what could happen. Like, that's all. I went into this episode pretty much clean-minded as possible. Obviously, I had what in my dream, in my head would have been the best episode. But even then, if something better happens, or even not as good, but still good, I'd be like, you know what, that was okay. But I can't. If you rewatch this now, right, and I can't tell, right, if people saying they like the episode because Doctor Who's back, or they actually liked the episode, because it's a laughing stock. It really is. There's so much they could have done with this episode, but they're playing it safe. They are.
you think okay. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I hoped would happen that didn't, so I can understand what you mean, and it feels almost like wasted potential that they didn't use Jack the way that I thought they'd use Jack.
Okay, I know I keep going on, but I keep going on about this, but this episode, for us, as let's say, like big Who fans, you saw my story. The excitement I had going into this episode, being like, oh my fucking god, thinking this is going to be brilliant. I went in thinking this is going to be brilliant, right? It started off the first 15 minutes. I thought, okay, this is good. Then the Doctor escaped prison.
Yes, I see what you mean there.
I think if I could change one thing, I'd make it a Doctor Light episode, because don't get me wrong, Jodie's probably at the best we've seen her.
Yeah, she was.
She showed her range in emotions finally, but I don't know. It's just it's just funny. There's so many things that they could have done, but they were just playing it too safe. Like, kill off a companion. That's, be honest.
But I think we've had so many killing of companions that it just would seem so bland.
You would have liked it more if Ryan died. You would have liked it more if Ryan died.
I prefer Graham dying, because I felt like if Graham died, then he would have. Because I felt like if Graham died, then it would give Ryan a real emotional beat to end on.
But then if Ryan
really
died, it would give Graham a real emotional, because he's his only family.
I don't know. I just always saw it as Graham going, to be honest, not Ryan.
I always thought it was Ryan going.
I mean, I can understand what you mean. If you killed Ryan, but then I felt like he'd be in a. I don't know. To be honest. I don't know. I just always imagined it would be Graham dying.
I'll say one thing which I did like about the episode: the direction. It was very well.
The episode was beautiful, I think, and the scene when they're on the roof.
There's a few scenes which I did. Actually, I say the direction. No, because it kept cutting from scene to scene. But there was moments which I did enjoy, like the slow-mo TARDIS landing and the final, all right, Daleks, get in my box, which I found was so funny. That watching all them Daleks go into that box, oh my god.
It reminded me a lot of them flying into the Ark from Doomsday.
Flying out the Ark, yeah.
Very similar in it, really, in that respect.
It's very similar. But
slightly too similar, perhaps.
It's a lot of things he's copied, R2D. Christian was copied, hasn't he?
Yes.
Oh, you've had work done. You can talk. Copycat.
I do think sometimes, are we too hard on Doctor Who because we expect a lot from it?
No.
Like, there was a moment...
expectations have been lowered so much recently from the previous series. I wanted another decent episode, right? I wasn't expecting brilliant. I wanted a good episode. This wasn't even mediocre. This is something I'd laugh at, hopefully with friends if they felt the same way, but they clearly don't. You know what I mean?
Right. I think you are in the minority to be honest, in
I am very
disliking
much
it.
am in the minority. That's why it kind of annoys me that no one else feels this way.
And yeah, I understand what you mean in some points. You know, I'd love to have seen Jodie in the prison longer, and I felt like Graham leaving was just like a package, and Ryan's friends weren't exactly shown to us or anything like that. But I think there was a lot of lovely moments in that I really enjoyed. So, are you ready to move on to the bit at the end?
Which bit?
The bit that you keep mentioning that I'll keep cutting.
Oh, John Bishop.
John Bishop, during multiple points during this podcast, Will has just sort of screamed about the ending. So,
Okay, can I also
go
mention
on.
the fucking Sycorax? Hello. I did
It's
like shouting him.
Sycorax. It's a
It is
helmet in
Sycorax.
it. But
It's a
I saw a
fucking
picture and
Dan, it's a
looked like
Sycorax.
I thought it was a Sycorax. A
It is a
nude.
Sycorax. Yeah, Sycorax. Did you not think it was a fucking Sycorax?
It was. No, it was. I knew it was. But
It was.
there was this picture I saw after the episode and I thought, that doesn't look like a Sycorax.
Yeah.
But
Although
it must have been.
I did like the little fan wank of her in the prison, and that's why that. But her in the, yeah,
Yes, I thought it was indulgent, but not overindulgent.
Yeah,
You know, I thought that it was just pushing on the line a little bit. If they kept her in there, it probably would have got worse. But I think, like, who was knocking on the door of her prison cell?
probably Jack.
Oh, yeah, I'd imagine so. Anyway, sorry, I've got distracted. So John Bishop, then, what are you expecting from his companion? We don't know anything about him at the minute, but what would you like to see his character be like? Do you think he'll be a warm welcome or the opposite?
I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. Depends if Chibnall can write him, but probably not.
I mean, I think John Bishop is a pretty good actor.
Yeah.
For
like,
a comedian turned actor, he's a pretty
yeah,
good one.
the actors. I've got nothing against John Bishop. John Bishop is I've seen him in what's that other thing he's in? I don't know. I've seen him in stuff. He's a good actor, right?
He's a good comedian as well. He's got good delivery.
He's a good comedian. He's got good delivery, and he's got. But if Chibnall cannot write this man, he's going to flop so hard, like Ryan.
Yeah, because I think why have they done it? I think why on earth have
why
they
have
added
they done
him?
it? The biggest complaining, whatever the fucking word is,
Complaint that we've
like,
had is that there's too many of them.
TARDIS is too crammed, and we don't know them.
We
so
don't know yet.
Chibnall has gone.
They're
You know
gonna throw
what?
another person in.
Fuck you, and let's have another one.
And it looks to me like he's appearing in episode 1 as well.
Oh yeah,
so it's his first episode. So we don't even get any time with just solo Jodie and Yaz, which I would have not minded. You know, I think the Thasmin thing would have got a bit painful, but like, I think that it would have been okay. Like, we would have got some good character development for Yaz, and you know, she could really use the kind of cop skills and you know, be on her own a bit and things like that, which would have been lovely, and which is what I was hoping, which is what we got in this episode. But I was hoping that they would do that on a full team level, and adding another companion does feel like you might be being excessive. What do you?
Yeah. No, honestly, like everyone was saying, it's too cramped. TARDIS. You don't have enough time to know these people, and then they've just fucking chucked another one in there.
Yes. Well, is that all you've got to say? We don't know anything about him, do we? We'll have to find out. But...
not John Barrowman. Captain Jack wasn't done well.
Oh, we talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, but I still want to say he was.
You want to just say it again?
I was so happy that he was back. Like, woo, Captain Jack. Bit of the Doctor Who which I liked, and now he was just kind of pushed to the side, just like Graham. Graham had nothing to do in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Who else had nothing to do in that episode? Ryan's only moment was saying, "I want to leave now," and that was it. Sorry, I just don't like the episode. If you can't tell.
Okay. So should we end it there?
We can do.
So, thank you very much for listening. Hopefully, you did enjoy it. What are your thoughts on Revolution of the Daleks? Put them down in the comments below.
I thought you were asking me.
If you're
You know
listening
my
to, I
thoughts
mean, we've just
already.
talked about it. Put them down in the
What are my
comments below.
thoughts? Oh, well, let me
Well,
know
you know,
about
it was
that. I mean,
all right.
I really enjoyed it, honestly. It's one of the best episodes.
At this point, because it is the new year, I wanted to kind of do a highlights thing at the end. So, by that, I would like to thank Will, obviously, for making multiple appearances during this year. I think you've done like 8 or 9, something like that.
Too fucking many.
Too many. No, you must have done 10. But I'd like to thank Will. I'd like to thank Regan. I would like to thank Amy.
Do you not want to go for the other one that's been in it at least 3 times?
I'm going through the list of people that have been in
you've
it.
got a
and
list of
it's in
people.
order. It's in order of when they
you've got
appeared.
appearance order.
Yes, I'd like to thank Ashton, and if you're listening, I hope you're doing well in your art.
I forgot Ashton.
And I hope that you've got a phone that doesn't make you sound like you are in a microwave.
Oh, let me know. I want to message Ashton and see what he thought of the episode.
Did I thank Amy? I don't know. I thank her again. Thank you, Amy, and of course Yasmin as well. So thank you very much to them, people. If you enjoy the podcast, sub to it. We're available on a whole bunch of platforms, including Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, iTunes.
Ashton agrees! Ashton agrees!
No! Ashton didn't like it either.
Ashton, finally!
Well, but thank you very much for listening. If you haven't already, you should sub to our podcast because we do these things monthly, sometimes twice monthly, which is an intention I have for the coming year. I don't know who. I'm planning to get some more guests as well in the next year, varied up the guests and depending on the topics that we're talking about within each one. But thank you very much for listening, and we shall continue to see you in 2021.